If you keep getting your guard passed, it's not because you don't know enough guards. It's because you're missing the basics of guard retention. Today, I'm going to give you the concepts and the ideas that you can play with in training to stop getting your guard passed. So before we can understand guard retention, we first need to understand what the guard is. So essentially, the guard is just the ability of us to be able to connect to our opponent with our legs. So if they get past our legs, they're past our guard. So we know we need to connect with our legs, but what is the purpose of the guard? I'll let Greg Souders explain.
Of making and maintaining connection for the purpose of managing distance, for the purpose of destabilization.
So now we know that we need to be able to make and maintain connections to our opponent so that we can manage the distance and destabilize them. So let's talk about how we can do these things. The first thing to address from any position in Jiu-Jitsu is our stance. From the open guard, we always want to have rounded shoulders, knees to our chest, elbows tight to our ribs. We want to point our hips, knees, and feet to our opponent. Finally, we want to show our opponent asymmetrical feet, meaning 1 foot high and 1 foot low. That way, they can't control both of our feet effectively at the same time. As our opponent tries to control our feet, it's important that we keep one leg extended and one leg curled in, constantly pummeling our feet to the inside of our opponent's biceps or to their hips. During this process, our upper body frames are going to be on our opponent's lead shoulder, which would be their crossface arm. This is going to make sure that we have space to reinsert our feet as our opponent tries to get around them. A common issue that we'll run into is our opponent trying to turn us onto our other hip, in which case we do a self-frame, which is where we put our elbow to the mat and put our hand against our own thigh to prevent them from turning us. Again, this just falls under the same idea of keeping our knees, hips, and feet pointed towards our opponent. Now that we're familiar with the ideas of managing distance using our guard, we can talk about making connections. We typically want to put some sort of 2-on-1 grip on whatever limb our opponent is leading with. So if they're leading with their head and arms, then we're typically going to get a 2-on-1 with their arm or collar tie and play something to that effect. When they pull their arm away or start leading with their legs, then we can start connecting to their legs, typically with outside guards like De La Riva and K-guard. The benefit of playing these outside guards with our feet on the outside is that we can still use our legs to frame on our opponent while we make grips with our hands. The entire goal of guard retention is to make the pass difficult. We do this by making our opponent pass our feet, and then our knees, and then our hands, and then our elbows. So we're putting as many obstacles as we can in front of our opponent. So now that we understand how to make and maintain connections, manage distance, we need to go into our last step, which is to destabilize our opponent. This is honestly the easiest concept to understand because all we have to do is get a hold of our opponent's secondary leg and send their weight over their trapped legs, and they're going to fall every time. Well, there you have it. In this video, we covered how to make and maintain connections by addressing what our opponent is leading with, whether that's their hands or their legs. We manage distance by putting our frames in place, our legs on their hips, and our hands on their lead shoulder. And we learn how to destabilize our opponent by simply getting to their secondary leg and putting weight over that side. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you got any value out of this content, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks.